graduate. I mean,
Got a class that's got to go quite a way, so you probably better off going to
5, 6.
yeah.
All right, so what are you getting here?
What's that? What are you getting over there? Actually, it's a good crop. We're right at the knees.
Yeah, that's why I was saying I liked it.
I was actually planning on getting here.
Oh, really?
There are people sitting.
Right.
So just be quiet.
More diplomatic than that black tape on there. It's so obvious. Wow.
Here's a good diner.
You're thirsty? You might stop again.
No, I'm not thirsty.
Maybe we went downstairs.
Let us pray. Eternal Spirit of knowledge, Creator and Sustainer of life, as we gather today for this 118th commencement of Bloomfield College, we want to celebrate your majesty reflected in the whole creation, your sovereignty in the diversity that each one of us represents, and your love as the energy which enable us to move ahead in the evolution of the human race. You are present and still are in the formation of the universe. You are present and still are in the pulse of energy that gives birth to every living creature. You are present and still are in the birth of nations and cultures that represent their different histories. But above all, you are present and still is in the continuous human search for knowledge, love, and justice. As these students initiate a new pilgrimage in their existence toward that search, we ask you to grant them wisdom to grasp the meaning of the integrity of your creation and defend it from the destructive forces of materialistic consumption. Courage and sensitivity to confront creatively the injustices of a world still separated by sexism, racism, and class differences. And also grant them patience and endurance to continue building a society in which peace and justice prevails. Thank you, O God, for their parents and significant others who supported them through their growing pains of the past years. Thank you, O God, for the teachers and others in the learning process who diligently nurtured their quest for knowledge and truth. And thank you, O God, for the opportunity to be here as a family together, sharing this precious occasion, a testimony of the love that unites us and make us rejoice with the success of these students. Students, embodied students that we tender to you this beautiful morning, gratefully and joyfully. Amen.
President Noonan, honored guests, members of the faculty, fellow trustees, the class of 1991, parents, family, and friends. This morning we celebrate achievement, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the faculty, and the administration, I welcome you to the 118th commencement at Bloomfield College, and I heartily congratulate the graduating class. The world isn't what it was when the graduating class first matriculated in Bloomfield College. The issue of the century, authoritarian rule versus democracy and freedom, has been faced, and freedom isn't doing too badly. The bulwark of freedom is an enlightened, informed, and educated citizenry, which means to us that we must recognize and accept that education is a lifelong responsibility. Degrees and diplomas are a means to an end, not an end in themselves. For life is very dynamic. If one part of it changes, the parts that surround it also shift. This causes a completely new scenario which we must face. accident, change, happenstance, the roll of the dice, the circumstances themselves affect our lives and cause us to rethink, defend, or extend our current positions. What does this all add up to? What is it that matters? What matters most throughout life is what you do with what you learn in pursuing your career, raising families, and participating in your community. I wish Godspeed to each of you. Thank you.
As Diana Ross might have sang had she been in my shoes, it's my turn to say what I can say. I know it's a poor rendition, but it was either that or a cartwheel. It helps to calm my nerves. Members of the Board of Trustees, President Noonan, distinguished guests, faculty, fellow graduates, members of our families. Shakespeare once said, "All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players making their exits and entrances." And in kindness to you, I'm going to try to make this as quick an exit as I can. My fellow graduates, peace. No, just kidding, laugh. Not so fast. It is indeed a great honor and pleasure to be chosen to deliver the senior address on behalf of the graduating class of 1991. However, when I first sat down to gather my thoughts, my mind went blank. Yes, it was much like the feeling I had during an organic chemistry final. So panic began to set in, and I started thinking of ways to get out of it. Now, would Paula Lax-Craig and everyone else in public relations believe that I had suddenly come down with a severe case of laryngitis? No, I didn't think so. But it was during my moments of frustration that I looked across my room and saw a more than familiar plaque hanging on the wall. It was a gift from my mother and father as I left home to start my college career here at Bloomfield. It was intended, I think, very much for times like these. You see, on it was written a quotation that had pulled me through many difficult times. It says, "Far away, there in the sunshine, are my highest aspirations. I may not reach them, but I can look up and see their beauty, believe in them, and try to follow where they lead." Fellow graduates, our achievements being recognized today are as a result of following and holding tight to our dreams and aspirations. You will certainly agree with me when I say that after pursuing 3, 4, 5, or how many years it may be, of productive studies at Bloomfield College, we are now in a very strong position to determine our strength, aptitude, or interest, and can pursue it ceaselessly to perfection if possible. We are also aware that education is a continuing process, and it ends only with one's life. What we have learned from our alma mater is something which we must add day by day, year by year, and pass our knowledge to others, or it would have all been in vain. Oliver Mercer wrote, "Knowledge is like a great truckload of coal. Until the coal is actually being burnt, it is not being transmuted into power and into service. In the same way, knowledge, until it is applied to life, is merely a load of unused material. However, we are convinced that the qualitative type of education which we have received from this institution will certainly prepare us to face the challenges ahead courageously, to persevere steadfastly, and to work conscientiously. Further, This education will open up to us the opportunity to follow the true, the beautiful, and the good. It will also teach us to avoid vulgarity and false sentiments by providing us with standards by which we can judge values. Moreover, it will enable us to decide what will contribute towards our happiness in life. Without such an education, how could we discern what are good forces, what is right or wrong, what is true or false, what is lovely or ugly? To our understanding, compassionate, and colorblind lecturers, especially my chemistry lecturer and mentor, Dr. V, a special thank you. Your understanding came from the fact that you remembered what it was like to be young and anxious to learn, and that we too have our good days and our bad days. Compassionate, since you not only sympathized, but also empathized with us in our moments of distress and frustration, when you could have really sucked it to us. And I say colorblind, for you were all those things and more to us, regardless of our color, race, and sex. And just as Dr. V touched my life, so too am I sure that we each were privileged enough to meet someone whose advice, encouragement, and caring made our days here at Bloomfield College the truly happiest and most wonderful. Thus, on behalf of the graduating class of 1991, and on my own behalf, I would like once again to thank most sincerely all our lecturers from the various faculties for the sterling contributions you have made in providing us with a qualitative education for life and for the dignified manner in which you have been able to motivate us to achieve excellence in whatever activity that we pursued, those things which we have learned, received, heard, and seen among our lecturers. We can assure you we will always emulate and move forward in the 21st century with great confidence. Lastly, but by no means least, I know that during the course of this program, we will be saluting those very important and special people. You know who you are, but I'm sure, my fellow graduates, that you will agree with me that we can never salute them enough. And so, to the moms, dads, wives, husbands, children, brothers, sisters, and all those other special family members and friends, it is because of you that we are here today, and it is to you that much of the honor really belongs. Finally, if I may impart a few more words on you, my fellow graduates, they will be those by Harold V. Melchers. Live your life each day as you would climb a mountain. An occasional glance towards the summit keeps the going warm. But more beautiful scenes are to be observed from each new vantage point. Climb slowly, steadily, enjoying each passing moment, and the view from the summit will serve as a fitting climax for the journey. Goodbye, good luck, God bless. Thank you.
Mr. President, I am pleased to present to you Shirley A. Jackson for the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
Shirley, if you'll try. Shirley A. Jackson, distinguished scientist, educator, public policy leader, Bloomfield College honors you today for the powerful lesson your life teaches us, that the pursuit of excellence is the highest calling the human race can heed. Upon graduating as valedictorian of Roosevelt High School in Washington, D.C., You began studies in physics at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where you were a Dean's List student every semester as an undergraduate. In 1973, when MIT awarded you a PhD, you were certainly one of the first African-American women, and perhaps the first African-American woman in the history of the country to earn a doctorate in physics. In 1986, you were elected a Fellow of the American Physical Society. You are included among American men and women of science, who's who among black Americans, who's who of American women, who's who in science and technology. You have served as president of the National Society of Black Physicists, and this month you were elected as a Fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. Since 1976, you have worked as a theoretical physicist at AT&T Bell Laboratories, the foremost research laboratory in the world. You have also been a visiting scientist at the Aspen Center for Physics, at the Stanford Linear Accelerator Center, at the Fermi National Accelerator Laboratory, and at the European Organization for Nuclear Research. From your days as a tutor at MIT to the present, when you serve as a trustee of MIT, of Lincoln University, and of Rutgers University, you have been committed to helping men and women attain excellence themselves. Your efforts in 1988 on behalf of the Jobs, Education, and Competitiveness bond issue led to tens of millions of new dollars becoming available to strengthen facilities in New Jersey's colleges and universities. Bloomfield College will receive $600,000 as a result of your dedication. For your work as a physicist dedicated to unriddling the composition of the universe, for your work as an educator and public policy leader dedicated to the advancement of education, for your consistent and inspiring focus on excellence, Bloomfield College is proud today to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa, with all the rights, duties, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you, Dr. Noonan. Distinguished guests, graduates, and friends. First, let me say how honored I am to be honored along with the other distinguished honorary degree recipients and with you, the graduating seniors. Now, I could attempt to give you the usual remarks of a person receiving an honorary degree, and to some extent I will. But I also would like to tell you a story in the process which may be instructive. As you graduate, you're facing many uncertainties which could be opportunities, but perspective is important. I'm sure you all remember that day in January of 1986 when the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded in midair within the first 90 seconds after liftoff, and all 7 people aboard perished. The world was transfixed. So was I, because included in the crew was a friend of mine, Dr. Ronald McNair, who was a mission specialist aboard the flight. Dr. McNair was a physicist with a PhD from MIT who had worked at the Hughes Research Laboratories before joining NASA's Space Shuttle program. Dr. McNair had grown up in a very small town in South Carolina. He was very bright and a very hard worker, and he graduated summa cum laude from North Carolina A&T University. I first met him when he came to spend a junior semester at MIT in an exchange program between MIT and several historically black colleges and universities. It was obvious from the beginning that he was dedicated to his work and to excelling in it. Working very hard, he excelled at MIT during this semester and returned a little later as a graduate student. One day, some years after beginning graduate school, about 3 months before he was scheduled to get his PhD, Ronald McNair was assaulted on the street in Cambridge, and he had his bag snatched, which contained all of his research data, which he had spent years preparing to collect and collecting. Nevertheless, instead of giving up, he spent literally day and night for 3 months retaking the data and writing so that he could graduate on time. During his time as a student and before, while working as hard as he did, he was a black belt in karate, although he didn't use it in the assault, and an accomplished saxophonist. In fact, he used his saxophone on his first space shuttle flight to record a song about the beauty and unity of the world as seen from the space shuttle. But I'm not trying here to give you a eulogy of Dr. Ronald McNair, because he was doing what he wanted to do and worked at it all the time. Rather, I'm trying to make 2 points. First, for success, the long view is critical. One has to keep one's eyes on the goal. It is nice to hear short-term success stories, but usually those who succeed and leave a mark have held to the long view. The long view allows you to keep working when the chips are down. It also allows you to accept, not necessarily appreciate or like, but accept the motivation of others whom you may not understand. Secondly, commitment is the implementation tool. Given the long view, commitment is what is required to hold to that view. My reason for talking about Dr. McNair is that he had these 2 attributes. He had looked to his future and had made a down payment with his commitment. So have you who are graduating today. And if you continue, you will end up in a better place and take the world with you. Good luck and Godspeed.
Mr. President, I am pleased to present to you Henry E. Cates for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
You may have noticed that Mr. Cates and I have been joined up here by another person, by Mildred Stone, a 1924 graduate of Vassar College, who became the first woman vice president of any insurance company in North America and was the mentor of Mr. Cates. She's a resident of Bloomfield. Henry E. Cates, corporate and civic leader, author, patron of the arts, we honor you today for your faith in the human and economic potential of Newark, since 1845, the home of the Mutual Benefit Life Insurance Company. A 1960 graduate of the University of Colorado, you began that year as an agent with Mutual Benefit. 25 years later, you were elected a member of your company's board of directors. You became president in 1987 and chief executive officer in 1989, by which time mutual benefit had reached $11 billion in sales, due in no small part to your farsightedness. Your commitment to the arts is inspirational. You serve as a trustee of Carnegie Hall, Lincoln Center Theater, New Jersey's Center for the Performing Arts, the Newark Performing Arts Corporation, and the Newark Museum. Your passion for the arts is manifest in one other important way. You pioneered the concept of limited partnerships to finance London and Broadway productions, Les Miserables among them. Your leadership in Newark's Renaissance is exemplary. You chair the Metro Newark Chamber of Commerce. You serve as a trustee of the Tri-State United Way, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Newark, and the Public Research Institute of New Jersey. In 1989, Manhattan Magazine named you its Man of the Year. Under your leadership, Mutual Benefit has affirmed its willingness to use its resources to support a broad array of projects intended to improve the quality of life in Newark, in New Jersey, and around the country. In 1990, Mutual Benefit won the Corporate Philanthropist of the Year Award for its outstanding support to hospitals, AIDS groups, educational organizations, youth agencies, performing arts groups, museums, and galleries. For your unequivocal acceptance of the mantle of corporate citizenship, for your willingness to be a highly visible leader in the transformation of Newark, for your respect for the human side of the balance sheet, for your creative management of your great company's considerable resources, Bloomfield College is proud to confer upon you today the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the rights, duties, and responsibilities thereto appertaining.
This is a great moment for us. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Noonan and trustees. This is clearly an honor that I will cherish for a long time. It's equally an honor to share this porch with Shirley Jackson and Henry Mueller. Now, Shirley and I sit on the board of a very large public utility, and since we went on one after the other, we sit next to each other at each meeting. And unfortunately, I am rendered uncharacteristically mute at each meeting by the brilliance of that woman that you honored today. I congratulate you trustees on that one, Shirley. And congratulations to all of you graduates, literally the hottest class in America today. I know that in many cases, it's been years of sacrifice sandwiched between your work and your families to get to where you are at this moment. But you've exhibited the mental strength and the physical courage to pull it off. Those traits will serve you well in the years to come. I know it's a tough job market out there right now. It's truly a rough economy. But I'd like to make a few observations this morning that might give you a little heart. I'm going to go out on a limb and tell you that I think the recession has bottomed. We're seeing some unreported and very encouraging signs throughout the country, especially in leasing activity in real estate, something that is never reported in the newspapers. And I'm going to predict that by the end of this summer, we're going to see a fairly aggressive recovery. And to you all, that should mean a return to somewhat more normal hiring in the late fall and accelerating by the year end. This should be especially true in the consumer goods industries as retail sales catch fire with a return of consumer and customer confidence. Number two, the very skills that you honed to get through this very challenging program are precisely those that we need in the workplace. I'm specifically referring to your tenacity, the willingness to see it through no matter the obstacles. And number three, the country is changing very fast. The mixture of cultures in the workplace and the management of that diversity is becoming a brand new science. To the extent that you can aid companies in coming to grips with the issues of diversity, the coexistence of many special interest groups in the workplace, you could really be on the ground floor for a new opportunity. Think about it. I'll guess that you all know a lot more about diversity than most of us who have been in the workplace for a long time. And finally, the 90s have been predicted by my good friend Faith Popcorn, the popular consumer futurist, to be the decency decade. And what that means is that values such as integrity, honor, truthfulness, and hard work will be in vogue more now than ever in the last 30 or 40 years. These requirements will be manifested in such things as consumer products, political candidates, rock stars, and the workplace. So if you add all this up, my simple advice to you is as follows. Don't wait around for that perfect job. Take your best first offer and apply those skills that we've been talking about. Tenacity, honor, streetwise intelligence, especially as it relates to other people's needs, and work your hearts out for your new employer. If you do that, I'll personally guarantee that your competitors graduating elsewhere in this country this month will be watching your dust, trying to figure out how you learned so much so soon. My money is on you. You can't lose simply because you never learned how to. Best of luck to you in everything you do from here on. Thank you.
Mr. President, I am pleased to present to you P. Henry Mueller for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Hank Mueller, good friend of the college and of its president, through your counsel and vision as chairman of the Board of Trustees of Bloomfield College, you've played a pivotal role in preparing this institution to meet the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century. Through your leadership, the college has sharpened its mission and moved confidently and collegially toward its implementation. You are an inspiring example for the men and women who come to Bloomfield College. Like them, you began your career in a modest position as a page at National City Bank while pursuing study nights at New York University. When you retired in 1982, you had reached the pinnacle of your profession, chairman of the Credit Policy Committee of Citicorp and Citibank, and chief lending officer of both organizations. You were responsible for the largest commercial bank loan portfolio in the world, over $77 billion. After earning a BA in economics at Princeton University, you served during World War II, first with the U.S. Foreign Service, then as Assistant Secretary of the UN Monetary and Financial Conference at Bretton Woods, and later as a captain in the Marine Corps. You were the author of numerous books on bank lending, all of which are considered classics by your peers. You were founding chairman of the renowned Center for International Banking Studies at the University of Virginia, and serve as a visiting lecturer there and at many other universities. Your advice is sought by leaders in corporations and governments all over the world. In 1982, you were selected by the Swedish industrialist Marcus Wallenberg for the chairmanship of Saab Scania of North America, an arm of the distinguished Swedish automaker. You were also elected chairman of the Swedish-American Chamber of Commerce of the United States, and in 1986, you were awarded the Royal Order of the Polar Star by the King of Sweden. For the unique contributions you've made to the vibrancy of Bloomfield College as chairman of the Board of Trustees, for the inspiration you have been for our students and faculty and for me, for your standing in the international business community, for your contributions to the scholarship in your field, Bloomfield College is proud to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa, with all the rights, duties, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's good, Hank. Thank you. That's good. More than I can tell you.
There are times when the most eloquent words in the language are thank you. And this is one of those moments. I will not impose double jeopardy on you since I have already made a few remarks. But I'd like just to point out, as most of you know, that Bloomfield College is a very special place devoted to the American dream by helping students discover and enrich their God-given gifts. We wish for all of them usefulness and happiness. It's people that make things happen. In every corner of the college and at every level, the president, the board of trustees, the faculty, and so on, you will find an unusual group of people dedicated to the mission of the college. What sustains this feeling is really spirit. Leadership without spirit is kind of flat. Not too much happens. But in the case of Bloomfield, that is not so. A lot is happening here. I want to thank all of my fine and wonderful friends for what they are doing for the college, and also for what they do to support me in my modest role in this noble undertaking. President Noonan, if I could just invoke a little-known beatitude. Blessed are they who have nothing more to say and cannot be persuaded to say it. Thank you.
Distinguished honorees and guests, members of the faculty, trustees, members of the graduating class, friends, you will find with a great deal of gratitude, I think, that my role in the program at this point is limited to commencement remarks. That's considerably different than commencement address. And I'm quite mindful of that. What I want to say is that the faculty and the trustees put what is obvious to you now as a great deal of thought into the selection of the three persons whom we honored with honorary doctorates a few minutes ago. And I want to use this occasion as really your last class as a Bloomfield undergraduate. These next minutes are the very last moments in your education at the institution, to point out two things that are emblazoned in the work of the three people whom we've just honored. The first is the value of excellence, and the second is the value of service. And I can't imagine two lessons more important for us to be aware of in 1991 than both of those. There may have been a time when it was enough to be excellent, and there may have been a time when it was enough to serve others. But either of those alone now is not good enough. What we must do is seek excellence and be of service to others, as each of the speakers has said before I took the microphone. I want to read a few lines from a poet who I think captures very effectively the paradox at the center of service. The paradox is that by serving others, we ourselves grow. And the poet upon whom I wish to draw is Octavio Paz, a Mexican poet who just a few months ago won the Nobel Prize for Literature. And this brief passage is taken from a much longer poem called Sunstone. The passage I want to read begins with one of the oldest questions the human race has ever asked. The line is, "When are we truly whatever we are?" And he continues, "For surely we never are anything alone, but spinning and emptiness, crazy faces made in the mirror, horror." That's one of the most powerful images about the emptiness of acting alone in all of 20th century literature. For surely we never are anything alone, but spinning and emptiness, crazy faces made in the mirror, horror. He continues with what I think the speakers before me said in a different way. My acts are more my own when they are everybody's, because to be myself, I must be other, must go out of myself, must seek myself among others. Those others who are not, if I do not exist, and this is my favorite and last line, others give me the fullness of my existence. Or punctuated perhaps better than that, others give me the fullness of my existence. And so the lesson the faculty and the trustees wish to leave you with in this, the last seconds of your career as an undergraduate of Bloomfield College, is the message at the center of this great passage by Octavio Paz, that it is others who give us the fullness of our existence. We expect great things of you. We expect you to hold yourselves to very high standards as we've held you to high standards. And we expect in the years to come to be proud of your achievements as we are this morning. Good luck.
Mr. President, it is my pleasure to present the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts in Corso.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and the vote of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all the rights and privileges thereto appertaining.
Mr. President, it is my pleasure to present the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Corso.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and the vote of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Science with all the rights and privileges thereto appertaining.
magna cum laude. Kia Avery. David Bacco. Thelma Bannister, cum laude. Lorraine Bethea. Asmith Demosthenes. Terry Dias. Matthew D'Amato. Carolyn Elder, cum laude. George Ellis, cum laude. Karen Franzen, magna cum laude. Marie Hamilton. Minnie Hiller. Joanne Hoke, cum laude. Robert Hostetler, summa cum laude. Barbara Kiernan, magna cum laude. Potowski, magna cum laude. Gregory Romans. Kimberly Matthews. Maureen Major. LaShawn McCowan. Francine McLaughlin. Carlene Mitchell. Irene Molina. Shazona Monroe. Stephen Morris. Patricia Murphy, cum laude. Annette Nash. Sandra Nunez. Jose Panchi. Jacqueline Powell. Lily Shirley. Karen Archer. Linda Arena. Lindsay Bayer. Melissa Bergman, magna cum laude. Lois Blasi.
Don't forget this. Nice to meet you.
Linda Benassi, magna cum laude. Claudette Briscoe. Lyndon Brown. Melanie Burgess. Renee Clark. Michael Cohn, magna cum laude. Deneen Culpepper Hatton. James Cuomo, magna cum laude. Judith DeMata. Crystal Davis. Beverly Desbians. Ronaldo DiGenova. Estevez. Pauline Evans. Joseph Ferriolo, cum laude. Beatrice Gavina. Jocelyn Gavina. John George. Thomas Giamo, magna cum laude. Cum laude. Robert Gorin. Patricia Griner, magna cum laude. Desreen Harris. Rosa Harvey. Gerald Herman. Ella House. Robert Johnstone. Sabrina Jones. Stephen Kahn, magna cum laude. Stanley Keegan, magna cum laude. Phillips, magna cum laude. Jose Ropes. Mark Mayon. Robert McCloskey. Marie Melnick. Michelle Mickens. graduation, the students, we all congratulate the class of 1991. Please rise and salute your faculty. Graduates, please turn and salute your families and friends who have helped make today possible. Congratulations to the class of 1991, and welcome to the Alumni Federation. You've worked a long time for this. You deserve it. 6 years ago, when I was a student here, or a graduate here, sitting where you're sitting, I had very mixed feelings about leaving here, and I'm sure most of you do too. Oh, come on, you're going to miss the studying late at night. You did do it, right? I know many of you, as I was watching you come up through to receive your diplomas, I noticed that many of you, like me, are adult students. And to those of you who hold full-time jobs and have families that you support and take care of when you're not studying, I want to really congratulate you, because it's a much more difficult chore to get through school when you have other concerns. I want to say a special thank you to the parents who help send their students here, and I want to say a thank you to the other family members for those students who are adult students. It's not the parents that put you through, it's usually your spouse and your kids. So to those family members, thank you very much for helping your students. I have one announcement that I would like to make, and that is that the college is sponsoring a reception in the College Center, and we would be honored if you would all please attend. It's down the street. In the meantime, congratulations to the class of 91.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise? The book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 23. More than all you guard your mind. It is the source of life. This day we have gathered to applaud the acquisition of knowledge. We have ceased from our daily toil. We have vacated the spaces we normally fill to assemble in this sacred place, this place of learning, in order to acknowledge and affirm the profound accomplishment of these women and men. We stand here today with pride in you, pride in your achievements, pride in your having reached this goal you set for yourselves so long ago. We stand here today with joy. You are our children. You are our parents. You are our husbands and wives, our brothers and sisters, our friends, our students. Your joy is our joy.
We stand here today with hope, because you are our hope. You are our investment in the future. We have invested in your minds. You stand before us now holding your diplomas, testimony to all that you have labored for. Display them. Hang them in places of honor for all to see, including yourselves, especially yourselves. Do not forget why you came here. Do not dismiss the trust we have placed in you. We believe in you. May you go from strength to strength. Continue to learn. Continue to question. Continue to challenge and search. Do not relent. It is your greatest strength, your mind. More than all you guard your mind, for it is the source of life. May God be with you. May God bless you. Indeed, God has already blessed us with you. Bloomfield College Class of 1991, Godspeed. Amen.
I know you know how I always cry for these, right?
Because I didn't know it took that long. I expected it.
That's all right. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Hi, Barbara.
Just stand and talk for
With that nice hot roll, right there. At least they're thin. Swelters. Just be back. Fine. Okay, the rest of you can all on the side. Side view. You can have your time. You can get like right in the tools down here. All right. Eric, get a picture. On 3, 1, 2, and go ahead, Eric. They're all going to break as soon as they. All right, 1, 2, and 3. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Keep talking. What happened to your rose? Oh, she's lost the rose. We was flying.